Hello guys, welcome everyone to Mando Monday. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I of course answer them. This could be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO investing, the future of CSGO updates, if that's a new operation, a new case, or something like Source 2 that's heavily rumored now at this point in time. And well, if you guys have a question for next week's video, make sure to leave it down in the comment section, ask Mando, and then of course ask your question. It's usually easiest for me to find it that way. Now this week's going to be a little different. We have a lot of different things to discuss, a lot of really good questions, but also a lot of good talking points. And before we do so and get right into the comments, questions, and future updates that might be coming tonight as of watching this video, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. And here's a quick word from video sponsor, Skins Monkey.
Hello buddy, are you tired of your ugly skins? Nothing lost, don't skip the ad. Open skinsmonkey.com, trade your CSGO skins and receive up to $5 bonus for free. What are you waiting for? Don't be a loser and trade on Skins Monkey. Psst, there is also a 25% deposit bonus.
So obviously the first big elephant in the room is of course Source 2. Source 2 I feel like at this point is inevitably coming, but with the most recent tweets, the most recent leaks and rumors, we could be getting it a lot sooner, or I would say it's almost set in stone at this point in time, because the pro player on FaZe Clan, Rops, has recently tweeted out so. So every single CSGO update I would say since the end of Stockholm 2021, during the 75% off sale and during that removal of the sale, going into Antwerp, the exact same thing with new cases and tweeting out player stickers. He has tweeted out maybe a couple days before, a couple hours before, 30 minutes before a new update comes out, Valve comes out, actually updates the game. It's free marketing for Rops. It's free marketing for the entire CS community without Valve leaking it themselves. So it's kind of up in the air, and it brings people to talk about what's going on. And I think that's what's so special about Valve updates is they don't tell anyone what's going on. They don't drop a trailer 3 weeks before something happens. They just do it. And I think that's what makes Valve and CSGO so much different than any other game update-wise. So in my personal opinion, as it's Tuesday today, I'm actually very excited to see what happens. Either I think it's going to come out or it's not going to come out. And if it doesn't come out tonight, I think we're going to be set for a release date in probably August during CSGO's anniversary. But at the same time, it's really weird because we're getting that 10th anniversary capsule, and it seems like right now everyone's a lot more excited about it. I've been going on Twitter recently a little more, and I've saw everyone talk about this capsule, I would say more than I ever have before. Just different stickers and new stickers people are putting in to try and qualify for this. And of course, other things in the news. Steam was being down for almost 12 hours, I'd say, for the majority of people. That was a very scary thing. That was a big problem for many people. And I think it hit me with reality that really at any point in time, Valve can do whatever the hell they want. And if they want to take everyone's CSGO items and just shut down the servers for the day, they can do so. So that's kind of a wake-up call for my opinion. And that was just not really a fun time. I wanted to play CS and I wasn't playing anything else. Of course, Antwerp is still on, which is another huge problem. I've made 2 videos already on Antwerp since this. Another day, another Antwerp capsule, of course. I might do this as a weekly series until these capsules get removed, but for right now, the Legends capsule, just so you guys know, has hit over 400,000 quantity on the market, which this is during 75% off sale, and there's hundreds of thousands and more probably in people's inventories, which is pretty scary. But I still think some stickers are going to come out on top. And at the end of the day, with a major like this, you kind of have to just make a decision and just stick with it. There's not really any going back and forth. There's been other discussions around how many stickers are getting added to CSGO. Right now, we're kind of running into a lot of problems and situations where people, I guess, are starting to bring up the fact that I brought up a year and a half ago where people were adding, and Valve themselves are adding too many items to CSGO and the stickers thing right now. I remember I watched Just Mad's video the other day on Fels's Sticker Watch because he's at school, and he pretty much was talking and pretty much saying word for word what I was talking about a year ago, how there's just so many stickers being added to the game. Are these stickers even going to get the hype and love they deserve, especially if the Rio Major has really good looking stickers? I'm not sure if these will do even well, and then sticker investing is just going to go down the toilet for everybody, so it's a lose-lose for everybody else. Now, of course, let's hop into some questions, the bread and butter. Now, our first question up here is, of course, from Barn, and he says, I see no reason to sell long-term investments. I can see insecure people panic selling after these bait titles, XD. And I, of course, answered to want to defend myself, and I pretty much said, if you watch the video, assuming that you invested into cases or short-term investments in early 2021, maybe late 2021, or even early 2022, you are going to have a lot of profit on the table. And people have to remember that you don't have profit until you've cashed out. And I'm telling this guy that you shouldn't be greedy and just take what you can get, because this happened to so many people during so many different times when things went up. And this is, of course, the video he was talking about, which now good versus bad clickbait starts really from the thumbnail and title. If you don't have any correlation to both of those in your video, then it's really, really bad. Then it's absolutely clickbait. Don't click on the video. What I've done in most of my videos is you have this thumbnail and the title being a little different, but they're both things you talk about in the video. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. And if you're not going to watch the whole video, I would not really talk smack in my personal opinion. And I still stand by heavily of what I said earlier. If you have some investments you bought into, like cases, for an example, like Chroma 3s that are now almost hitting $1 that you could have bought in 5 or 10 cents in just a little while ago, maybe it's a decent idea to consider cashing out if you need that cash. You know, CS profits and CS money, not the website, but just skins, are not always expensive, not always high. Sure, everything's going to be going up, especially with the rumors of Source 2. We don't really know. We don't have a guarantee of what's going to happen the next couple days from now. There's been a lot of instances where prices keep going up. Everyone's flying high. Everyone's so excited. You look at 2021, skins were going for absurd prices. Butterfly knife Dopplers were all going over 10 grand when they were just a few before. And then boom, the whole market crashes and people are having a wake up call. And this is kind of what I can relate to. So just don't be greedy. Just understand you don't make anything unless you cash out. That's via Steam or, of course, something like a third-party website. Now, our next question up here is, of course, from Matthew. And he says, the Cloud9 Holo Antwerp 2022, is it still good to buy? And I would say yes. Right now, though, it's a little risky for a lot of people. If you're coming in new to Antwerp right now at this point, I would personally maybe stay away from all of this. But if you look at the price action the past couple of days, the Cloud9 Holo went from 466 quantity that it's at right now, and it was like 450 yesterday, and the price went up about 30 cents correlating with them going up, which is pretty good. These are still heavily applied stickers, arguably the best sticker in the entire major, but investing into the Antwerp major, just majors going forward, is a lot different than anything else. If you're having second thoughts about all of this, I would consider going into cases when everything goes back down. Save this money you have right now, wait for the next couple of months, wait for the next couple of weeks for prices to start going down. Maybe that's during the next operation, maybe that's during the next major in October. But of course, that would be a really good time to buy into some cases, which that would be almost guaranteed. But out of all the Antwerp stickers, I'd say this is one of the most secure prices and one of the most favorited stickers out of all of them as well. Now, our next question and comment is, of course, up here from JB, and he says, I wish they'd reduce the trade hold, which I kind of agree, but I also really disagree on this completely. So people don't really understand why the trade hold, I would say, got added just a few years ago. If you're new coming into the scene, or maybe even old, not everyone always pays attention to this kind of stuff. There's not really a need to. The trade hold got added to stop CSGO gambling. And if the trade hold got removed, for an example, or got reduced quite a bit, CSGO gambling would start popping up left, right, and center once again. Even when CSGO gambling was full on banned, Valve was sending cease and desist letters to different companies, people were still making websites that were insanely huge in CSGO gambling. Look at YouTube back then. It was just gambling videos 24/7. Now it's not really relevant at all nowadays. That's pretty much why they didn't have it anymore. CSGO skins, in my personal opinion, would be in a very vulnerable state if they removed the trade hold, specifically for gambling. Gambling would come back, Valve would have to do something, and they'd either have to put another trade hold in the skins or do something completely different that I think could ruin skins forever, which I don't think they want to do. And people are still buying skins after the 7-day trade hold, which that doesn't really make it necessary for them to do anything. If people are still going to buy them, why would they change anything? But I can understand the frustrations with everything. The trading is something I miss and a lot of my other friends miss. I had a lot of friends who traded literally nothing to a Karambit Doppler back in the day after just weeks of grinding on CSGO Lounge. It is possible, was possible, but nowadays not so much. It's pretty much, I would say 100% not possible unless you are so lucky on a gambling website, and even then it's just sketch. Now our next question up here is, of course, from Peter, and he says, like, when do you sell investments on Steam or on third-party websites? This is a very good question. It's something I've actually received the past few weeks for a very long time, and well, it really depends, right? If you have something like Antwerp and you have something like a capsule or a sticker, or even a case like the Chroma 3, the revolver case, or the clutch case that's been going up a lot in price recently, I tend to normally sell a lot of these if the price is really well on third-party websites. It depends if I'm cashing out. And the difference between cashing out versus staying in CS, if you're moving away from Counter-Strike for the next couple of months, or you don't think you're going to play the game, you don't care about CSGO investments, then yeah, cash out your items if they're a decent price on third-party websites. I've had to do this certain parts of the year last year, for an example, because I needed the money for some things. And I had cases that were really stable prices, like only a few cents of a difference, which is pretty rare on a third-party website like Buff, BitSkins, CS Deals, Skinport. Usually it's Skinport because Skinport is the largest option in North America and Europe, and Buff is a lot harder to get items. But if you sell things on Buff, you can buy a liquidated item like an Op Asimov, a Karambit Doppler or something, sell that on another North American website because those will sell a lot faster than your cases, and you kind of go from there. So it really depends the situation and scenario you're in. If it's just to reinvest in something on Steam, for an example, I'll just sell on the Steam market because it's usually more profit anyway. Sometimes selling straight on Skinport or whatnot is not the worst idea. Now our next comment and question up here is from Christian, and he says, at this point, CSGO investing is dead. which this is very arguable for a lot of people. I have a video coming out on this question specifically later this week, which I'm actually pretty excited to post, but people have been saying this for the past couple of years. I would say because it's become a lot harder to invest into CSGO. I wouldn't necessarily call it dead, but it's definitely more difficult than it was even just a year ago. People are investing now into everything. It's not just CSGO, it's in Bitcoin, it's in crypto. Everything that you think you can make money on, other people are doing the exact same thing 1,000 times over and milking it till there's nothing left. I mean, right now there's still a lot of instances where you can make money inside of CSGO. It's mainly, in my personal opinion, down to cases and older items in the game, and that's how it's going to go forever. I think cases are always going to be there as an investment. Sticker capsules and for majors have been a gamble since 2019. People know that. It's a gamble if you want to do that. That's not even considered dead. Look at Stockholm for an example. Look at some of the Operation Riptide skins. Look at some of the M4 skins that went up so much in a very short period of time. Investing is changing inside of CSGO. You have to base it off certain updates now, like the M4A4 update, like the M4A1S nerf, the M4A4 got buffed, things like that. You have to change how you're investing and not just doing it how the market's flowing and how it's going. This year has been the absolute worst for predicting that. Everything you thought was going to come out at a certain time did not come out. We thought a summer hype was going to come. It didn't happen. We thought a big hype was going to come with Chinese New Year. That also didn't happen. It actually came after with the Chinese website release UPIN, which is kind of crazy. So it's not completely dead, but it's a lot harder than it was just a couple of years ago. You have to kind of do a lot more research, do a lot more personal research. You have to go into something that you feel a lot more comfortable with, and you also have to put your eggs in a little bit of different baskets, if that makes any sense. Now, our next question up here, and this guy pretty much says, to sum it up, you should invest in this TF2 cases. Valve is having the game go underneath the radar. They're eventually going to update it, and you will have massive profit. Remember, invest when the game is dead. And I kind of have to disagree with you. One, I don't think TF2 is going to come back anytime soon very strong. I think it's one of those things like Halo, for an example. People would love for TF2 and Halo to be back on top to how they were just 10 years ago, but it's most likely never going to be the same or be like that ever again. Just because the people who played those games are just really out of the loop. They don't care for that stuff anymore. Those people have lives. Those people have jobs. Not to say that CS is different, but it kind of is. Also, on top of that, I have a video coming out on this, just like the last question later this week, which I thought was really, really good. Thank you for asking. But if I invest into TF2, or for an example, Rust, which a lot of people have told me to do, I just feel like I should go invest in the stock market or a different crypto at that point in time, because it's not CSGO. The reason I invest into CS and buy CSGO skins is because I play the game every single week. I make videos on it. So while I'm playing the game, I get to see some of my investments and some of my play skins that I buy actually rise up in price, which is very, very nice. It's different than any other thing in the world. That's why I like CS investing so much. It's not even necessarily for the profit, not even necessarily for the money. It's just nice to have an item that's valued at such a high price that won't drop most likely anytime soon. That will probably just go up from there. And it's just really, really cool to see that. And no other game can replicate that, and no other game will replicate that anytime soon. And of course, a closing note. It's not necessarily a sad note, but it's just something that's going on with me recently. My entire YouTube channel, I feel like this week, it's been going bad. All my videos are getting demonetized, and it really, really sucks. A couple weeks ago, it feels like all my videos are doing okay. I would submit a review, and they would come back with a final feedback after they reviewed my video manually and saying, this is fine, you can post it with monetization, you can get paid for it, which was fine. It wasn't a whole lot, but now it's just nothing. And I'm practically uploading just off of sponsors, which I'm very thankful for them, and they're pretty much the only thing keeping us afloat right now. And I just wanted to update you guys of what's going on, because YouTube is just not doing this to me, but every CSGO YouTuber, if I had to imagine and had to assume, because every time I click on a CSGO video now, there's no ads on them whatsoever, which is nice, but also not the most nice thing for the creator. So I understand it from both sides and both perspectives, of course. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, link down in the description below. Catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully we see Source 2 in the Antwerp move later this week, but I don't know. Peace out.